Yo, what's good, guys? It's Deuce here. This is going to be my review, a recap of tonight's Raw. Just went off there like 10 minutes ago. March 12th, 2012. I gotta say, I really enjoyed this Raw. I mean, it wasn't really, great wrestling, but wow, some great segments in that fucking rock concert is one of the greatest things I've heard in a long time. Wow, I was fucking dying. Uh, so, wow, let's just get into the review. Raw opens up with Cena coming out to his Word Life theme and the Titantron and everything, which is pretty cool. And then he came out in a old school Cavs Mark Price jersey, old his like backwards hat that he used to wear, fitted cap, and his chain. It's actually cool to see that he looked like he was all business. I actually admit I kind of marked out seeing that Cena come back and gets on the mic and basically his rap reminds me of why I used to like him. Basically, he even said chicken shit at one point. They completely edited it out. But these little kids didn't even know what fucking hit them with these rhymes and these words. It was just good stuff. I didn't really write down any stuff Cena was saying. You can check it out, I'm sure, on the videos on YouTube. But Cena had some nice rhymes. And he walked out. We get hyped for the rock concert later. That was all you saw of Cena for the whole night. I thought he'd come out for a couple more, but commercial, we get hyped for the Shawn Michaels Undertaker segment. Vicky Guerrero comes out and interrupts everything. She introduces Dolph Ziggler, and then Sheamus comes out. So first matchup of the night, Dolph Ziggler versus Sheamus. Sheamus wins with a massive bro kick and a pretty solid match. And we get hyped for the newly announced 6-on-6 tag team match that'll take place at WrestleMania. That is captain or between the two GMs, winner take all. Winner becomes GM of both shows. Teddy Long captaining one team, or head of one team. John Laurinaitis head of the other. Excuse me. So we go to commercial, and then back from commercial, we see what happened on SmackDown this past Friday with Teddy Long and John Laurinaitis. Then back to the arena. Johnny Ace is making his way to ringside. Out comes Santino and Oksana, followed by David Otunga and Mark Henry, his partner Mark Henry, after John Laurinaitis changed it to a handicap match. So it's Mark Henry and David Otunga versus Santino. Teddy Long comes out and helps Oksana down from the ring apron. And he shoves Johnny Laurinaitis. And Mark Henry hits World's Strongest Slam on Santino, picks up the win for Otunga. After the match, he and Otunga beat down on Santino some more. Kofi Kingston comes out to make the save, but instead receives World's Strongest Slam for his troubles. Then R-Truth comes out and he gets beat down and gets hit by Otunga's finisher. There's carnage in the ring everywhere. This was actually a cool segment to see, like Otunga actually, in a bit of a build-up for WrestleMania match. I like his new lawyer gimmick, actually. Carnage in the ring. John Laurinaitis enters, introduces Mark Henry as the newest member of Team Laurinaitis. So I'm sure over the next few weeks, each of the other members will be introduced. So the three of them pose as we get hyped for the rock concert later tonight. Commercial. Back from commercial, we see some stupid shit from like Maria Menounos, whatever you say her name, like on Extra talking the Bellas and Alicia Fox about WrestleMania, and typical like divas are like, what are you doing to train for the match? And Alicia Fox like, I'm actually just more worried about what I'm gonna wear picking out. I'm like, wow, fucking stupid skanky divas these days. Wow. Yeah, so that's why no one cares about them. But so yeah, and then we that stupid shit, and then we see Eve walking backstage. God, she's so fine. Even as a heel, she's even sexier. And then Zack Ryder walks up and says, hey, last week when we kissed, I felt something. You're not playing me, whatever. And she's like, you're only playing yourself. And she's like, I liked it if we could just be friends with benefits. And Zack's like, all right. Does he want to catch dinner after the show? And she's like, yeah, sure. I like that friends with benefits shit. So yeah, and then Beth Phoenix walks up and talks about, paying Maria Menounos a visit and shutting her up because she always talks crap, I guess. And then she tells Eve how she actually admires how she got Zack Ryder wrapped around her finger and says, I could have Zack wrapped around my finger if you wouldn't mind. And Eve was like, yeah, I do mind. And then she walks off, and the segment's kind of weird. We see the Miz backstage trying to get John Laurinaitis' attention. He's on the phone. And then Psych star James Rode walks in. Pretty funny guy because Miz is guest starring on the show this Wednesday on USA Network. Walks in, and John Laurinaitis says, Miz wins his match tonight. You're on my team for WrestleMania, and your opponent's CM Punk. So we go to commercial. Back from commercial, Jinder Mahal's in the ring, followed by the return of the Funkasaurus, Brodus Clay. Who cares? Such a stupid gimmick. This is a really quick squash match. Brodus wins. His dancers are nice, though. I'll give him that. Then we see Shawn Michaels walking backstage. Looks like he's heading to the ring, and it's up next. So we go to commercial. Then back from commercial, out comes Shawn to a nice ovation. To see what happened with he and Trips last week, Triple H. And Shawn comes out and says, no one's called me a loser or failure since I've been here in the WWE locker room for the past 2 weeks, like walking around. But someone who was absent during those 2 weeks is here tonight. And he calls out Taker, says, let's settle this right now. Out next comes Taker, and Shawn says, you and me have shared that locker room for 20 years. We each have mutual respect for each other, something like that. Says, I never figured you'd be the type of guy to talk about me behind my back, like when I'm not here. And Shawn says Taker's because tells Taker it's because he doesn't have the guts to say it to his face. Yeah, oh yeah, obviously. Sorry, thought I screwed that shit up. Anyway, so Taker asks Shawn if he's repeating his words like his buddy Triple H is from a few weeks ago, and Shawn cuts Taker off and says, "You're 19-0. Like, what more do you have to prove? You begged for this match. Like, you begged for this match with Triple H," and Shawn basically begged Triple H for it. And Shawn tells Taker last year Triple H beat him within an inch of his life. Taker tells Shawn whether he wins or loses at WrestleMania, he's prepared to accept the outcome. Says he can't accept Shawn sticking his ego in the middle of this. Shawn tells Taker he doesn't call like this between the three of them the last few years destiny, like the two matches they had together and then the match with Triple H last year. He calls it ironic. He says, isn't it ironic that the guy whose career you ended could be the one who counts your shoulders down on the mat at WrestleMania? And Taker tells Shawn he'll beat Triple H and end an era at the same time, but if he doesn't do the right thing, Taker will end Shawn. HBK then taps Taker on the arm and leaves the ring. And Trips walks out on top of the stage, and he and Shawn exchange looks, and then Triple H, gives a little suck it to Taker. So we go to commercial. We get hyped for Miz and Punk. Back from commercial, we see Chris Jericho beating CM Punk last week in the tag match. Now comes James Roday of Psych fame as he's the special guest ring announcer. Next to the ring is The Miz, followed by WWE Champion CM Punk. So The Miz versus CM Punk is an okay match. Punk wins via Anaconda Vice. So Miz loses yet again. Looks like he's off the WrestleMania card for now. Like I said, apparently he may get involved in the Rock Cena match. Who knows? After the match, this was one of the best, besides the Rock concert, best part of the night in my opinion. After the match, Y2J gets on the Titantron and proves why he is indeed the best in the world at what he does. He delivers an awesome promo. He made it personal, bringing up Punk's dad being an alcoholic. Says, alcohol is in your blood, Punk, and it's going to be your downfall. And he says that Mania, he's going to take Punk's WWE title and leave him a broken man. The segment ends with Punk looking really upset, like visibly upset and shaken. We go to commercial, and Punk slowly walking back up the ramp with his title. Then back from commercial, we get a great David Otunga lawyer promo. Those commercials, like, if you've been hurt, been in an accident, need help, like, call our law firm or whatever. It was one of those. David Otunga is really funny. So out next comes Randy Orton, and Jack Swagger's already in the ring. So Randy Orton versus Jack Swagger. Orton wins. Good match. RKO. After the match, Orton goes up to do his pose on the top rope, top turnbuckle, but fire comes out of each of the ring posts, and Orton looks around for Kane, but he's nowhere in sight. So I guess we'll see Kane on SmackDown and get an explanation for the start of this robbery, I guess. I'm still waiting for. Run out of time. So we get hyped for the Rock concert, which is finally up next. Back from commercial, we get hyped for next week, or Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Undertaker will all be in the same ring at the same time. They hyped it as the end of an era prediction. I don't know what that means, but so what Shawn's going to predict who he thinks is going to win? I don't know. Cena will also face Mark Henry next week. We all know Cena's obviously going to win that. Out next comes The Rock. Nice ovation for the Gray One. He gets on the mic and thanks Cleveland for breaking records, as this is like the largest sellout in this arena in WWE history. It's like 18,000 something, pretty impressive. Says, speaking of sellouts, anyone catch his boy Vanilla Ice earlier? I mean, John Cena. He says, Cena is what happens when Vanilla Ice bangs a Teletubby. It's really funny. There's a picture up on the Titantron of Vanilla Ice plus a Teletubby equals Cena. He's like, I guess he was after that Teletang. Then he says, tonight's not about some 2-minute rap. He says he says everybody knows Cleveland rocks. I didn't again write down any of his rhymes. It was just going too fast, but absolutely hilarious. Some of the shit he was saying. Mentioned Cena's mom. Yeah, just made fun of Cena's fans. He's like, are there any actually grown men who are fans of Cena? Called them like 42-year-old virgins. Just absolutely, oh man, shit. I was dying. I hadn't laughed like that in a long time watching Raw. That truly proves why The Rock is the fucking man. Still is. He definitely owned Cena this week in the War of Words. Granted, I will give Cena his due. He has owned Rock leading up to tonight, but tonight definitely in Rock's favor. I thoroughly enjoyed that Rock concert. It was absolutely great. And then, I'm sorry, just thinking of some of the shit he said. And then Raw ended with The Rock's own version of "We Will Rock You," and then after it's like we will rock you." Psh, Cena sucks. It's good shit. So Rock ends, with "If you smell what The Rock is cooking," and that's how Raw goes off there. Very entertaining Raw. I enjoyed the Rock concert. I even enjoyed Cena's rap. It was good seeing him like that scene again. Hey, if we could get that Cena back, I'd love it. Or even get a third of that Cena back after WrestleMania. We all know that's probably not going to happen, but at least even if he just kept a little of his, like Doctor of Thuganomics in him instead of just being the watered down, like Super Cena shit. But we'll see what happens. But I enjoyed both of them tonight. No problems with either. I just enjoyed Rock that much more. Sorry, Cena. Fucking hysterical. Rock has still got it. I wish he would do more of these often. He's good on the guitar. Give it to him. So, yeah. That's pretty much it, guys. Let me know what you thought of Raw tonight. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And, yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know your thoughts, what you thought of the Rock concert and Cena's rap. And, I'm seeing, Doctor of Thuganomics, old school World Life Cena back for, even had the jean shorts on too for one night. So yeah, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts on Raw. I know I'm getting repetitive again. And yeah, I'm going to try and make a video or two, maybe sometime a little late, maybe tomorrow, Wednesday, make a video or two of my thoughts on the current WrestleMania card and, what some other potential matches could be. So stick around for those. Have a good night, guys. Deuce out. Peace.